Welcome back, soapy lovers. Just when you think things can't get more intense, someone gets a life-changing diagnosis, an old enemy pops up, and let me tell you, the family dinners are more awkward than a braai in a thunderstorm. If you're living for this chaos, don't be a stranger. Help keep these stories coming by joining our channel membership or showing some love with a super thanks donation. Every bit helps, hey, and so does letting those ads play for at least 30 seconds. Now, let's dive into the roller coaster that was December 2025. On Monday 1st December, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. That Skelm Doruk finally got caught red-handed, and Asuman, with fire in her eyes, had to decide his fate. Meanwhile, a chat with Samuz left Ifakat seeing him in a completely new and not so flattering light. But the real heart-dropper came when Seyran sat in the doctor's office, her world shattering as she received a life-altering diagnosis that threatens to change everything for her and for it. The next day, trouble came knocking for the Korhans, not once, but twice, as two old enemies decided to make a comeback. Gulgun found herself under immense pressure from all sides, her usual composure starting to crack. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Ferit's phone rang with an ominous threatening message that sent a chill down his spine, promising more danger on the horizon for the entire family. By Wednesday, Ferit was done waiting. He decided to take the bull by the horns and arranged to meet the mystery man behind the threats, determined to face the danger head-on. Across town, seeking a glimmer of hope, Seyran went for a second medical opinion, and in a shocking move, Esme, having had enough of the chaos, packed her bags and left the villa with Kazim in tow. On Thursday, Ferit stood his ground and went to meet the mystery man, a dangerous gamble that could cost him everything. Saron, clinging to hope, continued her search for answers with another doctor. The villa felt emptier and even more tense as Esme's departure with Kazim left a void, signaling a major shift in the family's fragile dynamics. Come Friday, Suna and Ferit were plotting in secret, visiting Safet to uncover some truths, but the stakes were raised when Tariq, that persistent pest, stalked Seyran right to her psychiatrist's door. The tables turned, however, and it was him who got the shock of his life. And in a dark corner, Mazid was betrayed by someone he thought he could trust. The new week started with Ferit completely losing his temper with Abi and Latif, his frustration boiling over after all the stress. The wise Hatuk took Gulgun aside, offering her some much-needed advice to navigate the family turmoil. In a moment of raw honesty, Ferit finally sat Seyran down and told her the hard truth about the dangerous Mazid, shattering any last illusions of safety. On Tuesday, that snake, Tariq, was at it again, playing mind games with both Ferit and Seyran, trying to drive a wedge between them. The mandatory family dinner was a painfully awkward affair, made even worse by Ifakat's presence, leaving everyone to wonder why on earth Halis would invite her. The air was so thick with unspoken words you could barely breathe. By Wednesday, Ferit was showing his support by accompanying Seyran to her psychiatrist appointment, a small but significant gesture. Meanwhile, Suna got the shock of her life, a revelation that left her reeling. And, in a moment of clarity, Gulgun had a sobering realization that Ifakat might have been right about something all along, a bitter pill to swallow. On Thursday, Kaya took matters into his own hands, kidnapping Safet and dragging him to the mansion to face the music. In a vulnerable moment, Seyran confessed her devastating secret to her sister Suna, sharing the burden of her illness. And in the shadows, Mazid, desperate and cornered, made a dangerous new alliance to secure his own survival. To end the week, Ferit tried to be the peacemaker, offering help to a struggling Kazim, while Saran and Suna comforted a heartbroken Esme. The question on everyone's mind was whether the stars would finally align for Tayyar's cunning plan. In a dramatic turn, Mezid managed to escape a violent attack orchestrated by Halis, and Gulgun was left to face a terrible mistake she had made. The following Monday, Orhan received a cryptic message from Samuz that put him on high alert. Showing sisterly solidarity, Suna accompanied Siren to her psychiatrist. But the real blow came when Pelin found Ferit and gave him some truly distressing news, adding another heavy weight to his already burdened shoulders. On Tuesday, tragedy struck the Korhans once again, a cruel blow that left the entire family shattered and mourning. Seizing the moment of vulnerability, Tarek made contact with Seyran again, his obsession not waning. This forced Seyran to stare down the biggest decision of her life, one that could alter her path forever. Come Wednesday, Ferit was desperate to know what Halis was planning as revenge, fearing his grandfather's rage would consume them all. Gulgun, in her grief, pointed all her anger and blame at Hatuk, accusing her of being the source of all their troubles, and all the while Ifakat was quietly worming her way into the company, positioning herself for power. On Thursday, Ferit decided it was time to stop reacting and start acting, making some big power moves of his own. In a surprising twist, Hatuk and Gulgun found common ground and made peace, united by a shared enemy. But the fragile peace was threatened when Suna, unable to bear the secret alone, let Seyran's devastating diagnosis slip to someone else. As the week ended, Seyran was determined to keep the truth about her health from Ferit, wanting to protect him. Esme, finally finding her voice, stood up for herself but ended up in a dire and dangerous situation because of it. And that manipulative Tarek used Kaya to force a meeting with a terrified Seyran, trapping her in his web once more. On Monday, the 22nd of December, Ifakat got a nasty surprise that knocked her off her high horse, and, honestly, it was about time. Ferit, now more determined than ever, set his sights on gaining real power within the family empire. But the most tense moment came when Pelin, having caught wind of the secret, confronted Seyran directly about her illness, forcing the truth out into the open. And now for the massive triple bill season finale on Tuesday, 23 December. Remember, it's one last big push for the channel. If you've made it this far, you're a legend. Consider supporting us with a super thanks, or by joining the membership so we can keep bringing you these detailed recaps. Every little bit helps us grow. Let's dive into the grand finale. The first finale episode saw Serpil keeping the pressure firmly on a squirming Ifakat, not giving her an inch to breathe. Zerrin, in a moment of clarity, finally saw Kazim's true colors, and it wasn't a pretty picture. In a bold move, Ferit took Seyran with him to a crucial dinner with the powerful Zaya, while Suna grew increasingly worried about Esme's whereabouts and safety. In the second hour, Seyran was sick with worry over Ferit's dangerous involvement with the shady Zaya, fearing it would lead them all to ruin. Meanwhile, Esme showed incredible bravery, standing up to the monstrous Tayyar all by herself. And back at the mansion, Halis Aga had finally had enough of the lies and betrayal, his patience completely spent. In the stunning Season 2 finale, justice was finally served. That whole rotten bunch, Tarek, Safet, Samuz and Maslam, got exactly what they deserved, giving the family a long-awaited sense of peace. As things settled at the Korhan mansion, an unexpected visitor showed up at the door, leaving everyone wondering if their hard-won happiness would last, or if this was just the start of a new storm. And there you have it, the absolutely chaotic end to Season 2. Can you believe it? Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on, because Season 3 premieres on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and for all your support. Lekker.